Indeed, they've been very active when it comes to recruiting the players. It's really good to see, though. It's a lot more fun than seeing a bunch of teamless players, so I'm happy about it.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, any teamless, you know, a few teamless people here and there and whatnot, but eventually a lot of people get picked up. And personally, actually, after covering a lot of other stuff, I think StarCraft is still a great investment, money, financial wise, for extra teams to be coming into the scene. It's one player instead of 5. Everyone's playing online right now. Easy exposure.
I agree, unless you're picking up Goblin. Like, that's just not a good idea. Just kidding, Goblin. I love you. All right, we've got some fun builds going on. As we have a 1-gate fast expand coming out of Astrea. That's a little feisty.
All right. Well, I'm curious to see how this is all going to play out once again, as we have a pylon up towards the left-hand side. That's a Stargate, surely.
Yes, and that's a Void Race target, if you ask me. And Void Race against a 1-gate fast expand. I mean, this is kind of where I need to call Goblin right now, but I believe, James, that's pretty good. Of course, oh no, it's a robot. Damn it, I was getting so excited. I would have loved to see that be Void Race, but I still think this is great news for Nina, though. This is the kind of build you hope for when you go for such an aggressive robo. You want your exponent to go for a very quick expand, and they don't come much quicker than the 1-gate fast expand, besides obviously Nexus first, but that's just crazy.
Crazy. Okay, let's see this robo then, and even having a little troll around here with this probe. Astrea is trying to figure out exactly what is going on. We'll eventually see these double stalkers in the middle, and has to move on away. Oh, in fact, no. Doesn't have to move away.
And that is actually very nice that the probe can see those 2 stalkers move out, but Nina already had her game plan written. Okay, the pylon cancellation is so dramatic. It's such a big explosion. It's like, what's going on? Now the stalkers of Astrea are going to spot this pylon, so at this point Astrea knows that there is going to be some aggression. James, this is really awkward, because now the stalkers are zoned away from the natural.
Yep, pretty annoying indeed. And that robo facility has finished up on the left-hand side, so maybe it can make some units too.
2 more stalkers coming in from the top. Nina is trying to get a sandwich. I love that Nina is already sending the stalkers back to the left side. Astrea is not sure where to go in the end. Astrea will go for the recall and will get out of there with both. But that's still a chrono boost that you're missing at home, or potentially a battery overcharge. If Astrea holds this, I think it's a godlike hold. But I don't know how you hold this.
Maybe 2 force fields available on these rock locations for a little while whilst this is about to hit. 4 stalkers and more going to be warping in. Slow warping, but the Immortal is going to be joining in this pretty soon. Get the stalk. Ooh, it's the sentry.
That is a very low HP stalker, right? It feels like such a juicy target. Astrea immediately goes for the chrono boost on his own robo as well, trying to get the Immortal out. But here is the Immortal of Nina. Force field is going to keep the Immortal at bay.
All right, so the Immortal is actually going to go all the way around, knowing that there is potentially another force field. Wait, no, coming back. What's going on? Ooh, indecisive.
Waiting for the prism, I think. I mean, in the end, Nina does decide to send it to the right, but there's a prism on the way as well. I mean, obviously, Astrea can be like, okay, maybe the natural is safe. Immortal is out, couple shield batteries, but then you still have to worry about Nina attacking your main base as well with that War Prism that could potentially elevate a whole bunch of units into the main.
It's difficult to break the front, though, don't you feel, with like 3 shield batteries there and Immortals?
Well, Nina could actually run into the natural right now and then drop a force field on the ramp. That'd be sick. Like, Nina should go immediately and drop the force field. This is it. I think you run all the way in and you drop a force field on the ramp.
Yeah, just try and negate the high ground protection there. Actually bring this down. This is the wrong one to overcharge. Right at the front in the vulnerable location. Oh, amazing force field to actually catch that Immortal, sandwiching it and actually get it down very quickly.
There's still 1 Immortal left, but it's so far away. There's a battery on the top side with energy, but the Immortal will not make it. And I think Astrea is in all sorts of trouble. Nina is in an absolutely fantastic position right now to just pick up game 1 here. Without an Immortal, I just don't really see what Astrea can possibly do here. And James, I think you are right on the money. That was definitely the wrong battery to overcharge.
Yeah, unfortunate. Pylon will go down as well, denying any more production for these Immortals. Trying to use the Warp Prism for some micro potential here. And micro can get you far, but only so far against this kind of clump of units. Oh, dear me.
Well, Nina, of course, has the same micro potential as well.
Yeah.
Astrea could try to turtle on one base, but don't forget that Astrea's Robo was in the natural as well, so Astrea lost his stack. And this is just kind of disastrous. Astrea's gonna try to steal. Okay, gets the Prism. I mean, that's something, but what does Astrea really have here? 4 units. I feel like Nina can just run up the ramp and win.
Yeah. No force fields as well. Another overcharge goes down for a shield battery here, but the firepower's just not there. The probes are actually going to get pulled off the line. And against a full Stalker comp, that's kind of a little bit scary. So going to play it very safely here is Nina. And she might goes back.
I actually felt Nina could have easily gone down that battery when the Immortals were in range. I mean, the Immortals deal so much damage to buildings, but I don't really mind Nina playing it safe, going for the expand at home, going for the Robo Vein now. Obviously, 4 workers ahead is nice. Resetting the tech of Astrea is very nice. I feel like the game could have ended there though. Like, just gone down that battery and then A move. With the Prism there, 2 Immortals, I don't see what could ever go wrong.
Yeah. Now, proper high ground vision is provided by that Warp Prism. And even bringing down the Cybernetics Core. All of these moves are just crippling for Astrea, as if it wasn't bad enough to lose the Nexus. And this is just trying to find the final killing blows.
Astrea does have a Warp Prism on the other side of the map while this dance is still going on. The Warp Prism is going to try to be annoying. 2 Adepts show up in the main base. We'll get a couple of probe kills. So this is kind of nice, but the Warp Prism, oh no, I think that's it. I think Astrea might just give up at that point. Even though getting 5 probes is very nice, but losing the Warp Prism is so big.
Yep, down half army supply. Colossi on the way as well in production.
Yeah, obviously Colossus are great in breaking force fields, but Colossus are not particularly great against Disruptors, but that is maybe a little more relevant in the standard game, and this game is anything but standard at this point.
Yep, well, just trottle on back now, home. Why on earth not? I mean, what you needed to do is kind of done for the most part, right?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, like, I know that a lot of people are a big fan of the saying, like, when ahead, get further ahead. But I'm more of the, when you can win the game, I think you should definitely win the game. And Nina is still in a magnificent position here, don't get me wrong. But that fight in the main base would have never gone wrong. Nina was in range of the battery. That battery would have gone down immediately. There was a Warp Prism and 2 Immortals. I think with just A moving there, you win. Obviously, Nina is still in a great spot, but if you give Astrea like Disruptors and stuff, the longer this goes on, the more likely it is that Astrea can make a comeback in this game.
Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. There's a lot of potential behind things like Disruptors, as you're mentioning. Likewise, though, Nina also getting some Disruptors off of the back of this too. Did the Colossus do anything yet, or is it
No,
just...
that got cancelled, which makes sense. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't a Colossus moment. Makes sense.
Yep. Does make sense indeed. Warp Prism going to be moving out once again. As long as Nina is holding on to the back lines with this, and just spot it with the Observer, maybe able to shut it down.
Yeah, I mean, Astrea already thinking ahead of the situation. Oh, good job there by Nina firing her own Purification Nova, forcing Astrea to pick up his Disruptor. I mean, Astrea is already planning ahead for this, and the Phoenix is going to shut down this Immortal harassment. So if I was Nina, I'd recall this thing immediately, and that's exactly what she does as well. Like, this is now still a game, Kalaris, and
yeah,
I feel like we didn't have to be in this scenario. This didn't have to be a game.
Yeah, I would concur. So we'll see how it's going to develop. Obviously, there is a slimmer chance that Astrea would come out on top, but that does not by any means mean that it is completely undoable.
Absolutely not. I mean, obviously, Nina having Blink on the way is awesome for her. Blink is going to be great in potentially shutting down more Phoenixes if Astrea ever wants to get more Phoenix, but it's not so much about that. It's also that the Phoenixes can counter the Disruptors of Nina. So Nina is still ahead in almost every single aspect, besides the worker count at this point. That's even. I'm a little bit surprised by that as well, but I also feel like we're 2 big Purification Novas away from suddenly loving Astrea's position.
Yeah, that is fair. Definitely so. They can really turn the tide of battle, and we've seen it multiple times. Even through yesterday, never mind any other tournaments going on. So if we're seeing it as early as yesterday turn the tide of battle, then very, very capable in the hands of Astrea, who, for all intents and purposes, is one of the best prospects from North America in a long time.
I mean, Astrea is the runner-up of the previous season, the DreamHack Masters summer, so I think that kind of says it all. I like that Nina is getting aggressive. There's really no need to drag this out if you don't have to. Of course, you got to be super careful attacking into disrupt this, but since Nina is the one with Blink and Astrea does not, well, I don't mind being a little, just out there, try to make something happen. Mobility can shine. Observers are important though, because high ground vision matters the most. Good voice switch by Astrea, who's gonna fire forward and Nova. I think that Nina fired first actually.
Yeah, it would have ended up being very, very close indeed though. I don't want to play with those splits.
No.
Actually, oh, Astrea, and that's exactly what we're looking for in these moments. There is the potential still for the comeback. Gonna have to blink forwards though. Tries to get on towards those, and actually, had to force the divide. Astrea has too many disruptors here.
Yep. Okay,
oh my.
A decent one as well that activates the barrier. Nina wants to be aggressive now. Does find a stalker. That's going to be nothing. Astrea is making a lot out of nothing. Astrea's 18 workers ahead. Oh my goodness, how did that happen? I mean, there's still no blink. Actually, there's blink on the way right now, but that's going to take a long time. I don't want to say it's now or never for Nina, but she's definitely on the clock.
Okay, there's going to be an aggressive blink forwards. It has to be. Oh, okay, no, maybe not.
I feel like almost all the disruptors fired at this point. I think only one of them can fire. At this point, Astrea doesn't have any disruptors that can fire. A second robo would be sick, or some more gateways. I cannot believe that Astrea's economy is this good.
Disruptors cause me a panic attack. They are the one unit in this game that causes me an absolute panic attack. And another purification over goes down. But 6 disruptors on the side of Astrea.
Oh!
Could constantly be shooting.
You are not alone, James. I'm with you. Astrea is playing this really well so far, getting a lot of value out of the disruptors. And once again, there's a big worker advantage. There's now also a couple of adepts counterattacking on the top side of the map. Astrea, where are you finding the APM to do these things? It stresses me out to even look at it, James.
Yeah, Observer ended up going down there as well. So no Observer here for... Oh, this is... Can I quit? Can I peace out? This is...
Astrea has killed 14 probes and has done an absolute marvelous job keeping his disruptors alive and keeping the majority of the gateway units alive. That disruptor will connect with one of the disruptors of Nina. Nina cannot really afford these losses on 39 probes. This really hurts.
Yeah, absolutely. The longer this is going on for Astrea, the better it's going to be.
That's so sick. I love that defensive Nova. Just in case it's dark. Oh,
yeah.
Maybe this one. Man, every time I feel that Astrea is not paying attention, he is paying attention, James.
Yeah, the defensive Nova is insane, but so quirky and so cool in those moments, just in case the actual blink on is there. You point out a very good aspect of that engagement. Oh, I can breathe.
I mean, Astrea has blinked now as well. Obviously still chilling on that worker lead. There is a pylon on the top side of the map that could potentially be used to weapon a few more units. The only thing Astrea I feel like really needs to do is take care of that observer. This observer is golden right now for Nina.
Yeah. I do kind of like the addition of Dark Shrine at this point in time. Yes, there's 3 observers on the map for Nina, but they were already trading back and forth with observers just before, so there was always that little potential that a window is there for you to strike.
Okay, Astrea is building an ops, and I think that's very important because vision is everything in Disruptor Wars. Random Disruptor. Astrea sees it, blinks on top of it.
Easy.
Now takes care of the observer as well, and this means that Nina is in the dark for a split second. What a game this has been by Astrea. Purification Nova from the low ground. Stalkers are going to blink on top of that. I was like, maybe this is a moment that Nina feels there's an opportunity to get the disruptors, but Astrea is making this seem not stressful, and I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Making the Nexus next to the proxy robo now.
Yeah. And we also mentioned that robo is still powered. Like, how did that happen?
Got a stride on the way for Astrea, looking to start the harass potential. I guess also you could try and go onto the disruptors with them. And straight up, it'd be crazy, but you could do.
First Dark Templars being warped in right now on the top side of the map, so I think this fourth base of Nina is going to be in a little bit of trouble. The armies are still going around the center. The disruptor count is currently 8 against 5 in favor of Astrea.
Sneaky, sneaky. I can't believe we've got to this position in this game, though, after the opening and how it actually unfolded.
Neither can I. Absolutely not. As soon as the series is over, I'm going to go back in the replay of game 1 and see if I missed something. But I'm pretty sure I didn't. But it's been a long day of StarCraft, so who knows?
Yeah. Nina is continuing to hold this aggressive posture. Overcharge.
I mean, Astrea just keeps firing first. Astrea is always getting the first shot off.
Yeah.
The overcharge is a bit unnecessary, but I think afraid of the blink. At the same time now, Astrea is going to counterattack. Nina uses recall, so this is about to get really hectic. There are disruptors in this army as well. Oh my goodness, one shot was big, James.
Yeah, it definitely was, but there's still a lot of stalkers remaining over here for Astrea, who really forced the issue with this engagement. Bring down the cannons as well. There's still some disruptors on the backside of all of this. The stalkers are going to blink on towards those, trying to get the trades, and actually have to recall out. That's a lot of stalkers left over for Nina.
Yep, it feels that Astrea really just tried to take care of all the detection there and made a priority of sniping the cannons so he could warp in maybe more DTs, but I'm not sure if that was like the best trade of the game for Astrea, but obviously still going strong. Astrea does have upgrade advantage as well. Sorry, James, go ahead.
It's fine, it's fine. I like the idea of the engage, you know, to kind of have your opponent be so focused on your third whilst trying to strike up at this, but
that was so scary, no?
That was terrifying.
Like, I would have blown up 20 of
up
my
for a
own
split
probes if I did
second.
that.
Oh, my heart.
Are you
All
still
right.
with me, James?
Breathe again.
James still with me?
Many moments in this game, very, very similar when it
Don't
comes
tell
to
me
these
this is one of
disruptors.
these bugs again.
The
where I
fourth
cannot
base
hear
on the
my
way.
commentator and I'm
Actually,
gonna
they're kind
shout
of
over him
expanding
again.
towards one another at this point, so he's in. Wait, what? Did you see that
Alright,
next?
guys, I cannot hear James, and I hope that you guys can't hear him. Say again?
Is Roddy gone again?
All right. I think it's all me for now. So this time I shouldn't be shouting over James like I was shouting over Fear Dragon. Then again, Fear Dragon was also shouting over me. I'll just take this one by myself. Hopefully we get James back real soon. This has been a very wild game. Now, we are apparently expanding next to each other as well. Why the hell not? Obviously, Astrea with +2 on the way. That could become pretty damn important. Disruptor count is still heavily in favor of Astrea. 10 against 6. And like I said before, vision is everything. Astrea sees his army, could land a big Nova, but okay, yes, he does land the big Novas, and that is going to be it, even though that's a 6 shot by Nina. Oh my goodness, all of the disruptors going down on both sides, but in the end, Astrea still has so much left over. GG gets called. Astrea wins in a pretty magical way. I generally don't know how we got there. I was pretty convinced this game was over. We're gonna take a look at that. I hear you, James.
Yeah, I disappeared, I think. I don't know why.
Disappear.
I don't know. When did I disappear is my question.
Okay, so basically, I was mentioning the upgrade. I was like, oh, sorry, James, go ahead. And then you said something, and I was like, okay. And then I said something, and I was like, I'll leave some space for James. But then it was just that quiet. And I'm like, James, are you with me? And then there was no James.
You know, there was a moment, obviously, where you had that thing with Fear Dragon. Where I didn't want that to happen, so I shut up fast as soon as I couldn't hear you. I was like, I am not being on Reddit with like the same way you guys. But anyway.
Yeah, I was bringing that up as well. But then our lovely producer was talking to me. It's sometimes really hard to hear because you hear the StarCraft sounds as well.
Yeah.
And then you're talking to yourself and you're like, did I hear that correctly? Is James not speaking? Yeah, that's me. But it's good to have you back. James, as soon as this best of 3 is over, no matter who wins, I'm firing up game 1 and I want to see what happened in the main base. Because, like, I understand this. Like, don't get me wrong. Overcharged batteries are super scary. Whenever you think, maybe I can win this fight or raise an overcharged battery, most of the time you're wrong. If it's a question, I feel like you're wrong because that's how good they are. But if an army is in range, especially if that army has an immortal or 2 immortals even in the mix, then I think you can just easily gun it down. And And I feel like that should have been it. Like, I really think Nina had that game locked up. But I'll take another look at it as soon as we're done with this best of 3. But what a game that was.
What a game. Yeah. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Let's get into Golden Wall for our next one here. As Nina... sorry, just to confirm, Astrea won that in the end, right?
Yes, James. Astrea did win the game in the end. Beautiful positioning. Obviously, I was a bit caught off guard as well because I couldn't hear you. But his army got to the top side and then landed 2 Novas in the center of the Disruptor pack. Blew up all the disruptors from Nina. And then Nina did get a massive shot herself, but it was a bit too late.
All right, cool. Well, I'm glad that you've recapped me on the final moments of that game because I didn't see anything. So let's get into it. It's going to be game number 2. And we have down to the left-hand side in the red. 1 game up. It is Astrea.
And in the bottom right side, we're looking at the main base of the blue Protoss. It is Nina. Both players still undefeated in this group so far, so definitely an important match to consider who is going to finish potentially top 2 in this group, and obviously that matters the most.
We could hear you both the whole time. Brilliant. Oh, no.
That's what chat said?
Yes.
Were you also wondering, was your voice as scared as mine? That's what I want to know, because I was, I'm a man who doesn't panic quickly, James, but I was like, James, are you still with me?
Like in a haunted house alone.
Yeah, I was terrified, like a young boy who lost his parents in the mall. I was like, where are you, James?
No, I don't know. I can't even remember, to be perfectly honest, but I was anticipating the moment. I didn't want to end up like you and Fear Dragon, but I think we've probably ended up like you and Fear Dragon, so can't wait for that.
I mean, I was quiet for a little while, but I was like, this is the 2nd time today, and I'm pretty sure James would speak by now.
Yeah.
I mean, that was honestly, of course, we got a bit distracted by the little tech issue, but what an insane victory by Astrea. Like, I don't know how you possibly win those kinds of games. That's just ridiculous to me.
And to that point, I think that Nina is probably feeling quite disturbed by the fact that Astrea was able to win that after everything that had gone down throughout that game. So proxy pylon, maybe Stargate this time.
This is interesting already as well, because I have the feeling that Nina wanted to sell this as potentially, hey, I'm going for a very quick Nexus full wall off so I can be greedy. But Astrea went for a super early probe scout, so the probe actually got in the main base. And now the probe gets all the information that you're looking for in the PvP. You see, all right, wall off, but no Nexus and only 1 pylon. So I think at this point, Astrea already knows that there is a proxy out on the map, and is going for the defensive Stargate. Astrea actually has a wall up as well, but on top of his main base ramp as he's mining out his backdoor minerals.
What I want to see is Void Ray versus Void Ray, just to cap off the ridiculousness of today.
You might get it.
Yeah, maybe.
No.
Oracle. Ball.
What?
All right, regame.
Oracle against Oracle. Oh, come on, we've seen this a million times. I do think that this is slightly better for Astrea because Nina, her gateways are so far away from the main, right? So then I think in general, I prefer having everything tucked away in the main, but obviously if Stalkers are in the right position, this is no big deal. All right, Kalaris is off again. It is on me. Oh no, James, you're getting your Void Ray as well. James has left us. So guys, as you can see, it's not only been a very long day. Today has been a day with a couple of hiccups as well here at the DreamHack Masters Fall. These things happen, especially when everything goes online. But obviously, we hope you still enjoyed the show. It's just going to be a solo cast by me for now as the Oracle dives in the main base, gets 2 kills, but more importantly for Astrea, gets out of there. Obviously, James is doing his absolute best to come back. And hopefully we'll see him soon. This is really nice for Astrea, I want to say. 2 Stalkers and a Void Ray. I mean, that should be really good against Oracles. I don't often see Void Rays fight Oracles, but obviously since Oracles are armored units now, they'll take a lot more damage than they used to, and Void Ray's actually pretty good against them. If it's still just all me. So welcome to you guys. Twilight Council going down in the main base for Nina, who can't be feeling super stoked about this opening. But we do have Oracles now diving into the natural, and there are a couple of probes up for grabs. Ah, that's a bit unfortunate. Unfortunately, Nina only getting a single one. Well, I felt that maybe 2 or 3 probes was a possibility there. Astrea's Oracle is still cruising around as well. It's like, where is that Stargate? Oh, the Void Ray is going around, wondering where that Stargate is. Eventually you find it. It's actually always nice to look for proxies when you know there is one. Not necessarily because the Stargate is important right now for Nina, but it's more about shutting down the pylon. And cats! Oh, excuse me, cats. Caloris, I hear that.
Yeah. I was trying to play Alpha as if nothing had happened, but yeah. God, I don't know what's going on. My Discord keeps being weird and I can't, I don't know. Strange.
It could be me as well, but I don't know. Everything seems fine on my end, other than the fact that you disappear.
Definitely me, mate.
Well, one Oracle went down there for Nina, and that is very bad news. Astrea is kind of granting your wish, though, James. It's good to have you back. Look at the amount of Void Rays we've got.
I'm all about it. It's fantastic. You know, I love playing 4v4s for such a long time. May as well bring that to the 1v1s. We have tons on the way. Stalkers, being armored, actually don't have the easiest of times against them unless they reach that kind of critical mass, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. Especially now, the Void Rays just have a little more micro potential. Void Rays are fantastic against Stalkers. The only thing you can say is that obviously with Blink Stalkers, you can maybe outmaneuver the army a little bit and just pick up units one by one. But just like how you probably want to get out of there if you see battery overcharge and you're not sure if you win a fight. If you're not sure you win a fight against Void Rays with Prismatic Alignment, get out of there, because then you're not winning the fight. No,
indeed. I'm going to be taking this base as well in the little pockets down towards the bottom of Golden Wall here. Such a strange map. I've always been perplexed by Golden Wall, but, you know, it is what it is.
It really is what it is. I mean, I don't know. Talk to me about Golden Wall, James. What's so special for you about it?
I don't know. It's one of the weirdest structures I've ever seen of a map for StarCraft 2. The minerals leading down to this little area, chamber. This chamber being locked off by a wall of minerals up towards the middle. A bit crazy. It looks like one of those ink blots that you see at a psychiatrist's where it's like, what shape do you see here? What is this? I'm like, I don't know.
Okay, I'm not sure about that, Blink, because not all the Stalkers made it, so Prismatic Alignment gets activated immediately. Now these Stalkers are kind of trapped. More Stalkers showing up, though. Do we have another Prismatic Alignment? Seems like the answer is no. So Nina does actually manage to clean up all the Void Rays. There's still an Oracle as well that could potentially get picked off. I'd love to see Nina get one as well. That wasn't all that bad for the Stalkers. I thought that would go bad, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I guess so. The only problem is, though, is that Astrea's army supply behind us is still dwarfing Nina's, thanks to the fact that the Immortals have still been in production, Void Ray still in production. Immortal Void Ray against Stalker is actually terrifying.
No, it truly is, but Immortal Void Ray is also a very clunky army, right? That's the heavyweight boxer with the knockout power against the very mobile boxer. The Stalkers, we've seen it earlier today. I mean, it almost feels like last year, but Geralt against Skillis did happen earlier today, and we really saw the power of mobility in this matchup.
Yep. Run rings around your opponent, and you will be fine. Got another Stargate as well as Fleet Beacon. Oh, are we getting some Flux Veins action? I'll be all about that.
I think we are going to. We are going to get some Flux Veins action. What I don't get is why we don't see these guys get air upgrades. Like, come on, Astrea, you're making this many Void Rays. We saw that with Neep a bit before as well. Like, it's 100. It's like, yeah, okay, it costs money, but if you're making this many units, if you got strong economies, I feel like you should always be getting air upgrades. Like how Cats is about the scanning, I'm about the air upgrades. And one day, they'll start getting air upgrades a lot quicker.
Yeah, I mean, in the scroll, there it is. I mean, in the Scrolls of Rotti, this is infinitely more superior to Warp Gate. So why they haven't started it until just now, I do not know.
And that's obviously up for debate. I get that part, but if you do really want to get proper air units, then it makes no sense to not start those upgrades a little bit quicker. I mean, this is still definitely a game, though. That was really close, by the way, with that Oracle being recalled. Did you see it? It's like Phoenix chipping away at it in the absolute last second. The Phoenix got the kill on the Oracle.
Interesting expansion paths on this base map as well, I suppose, here. Oh my, Astrea. I say interesting expansion paths. Here we go.
Yeah, just expanding in the bottom right. Obviously has cannons, kind of keeping his main base safe. Stalker is going to try to be annoying, but I gotta say on Golden Wall, it is really hard. There aren't too many opportunities to really blink into the main. You never really know what's waiting for you there either. There is an Oracle that's going to provide some high ground vision. Well, that's a pylon for a Stalker, not really the trade I think Nina is looking for. It is really hard to get good value out of your Stalkers here. This is not Pillars of Gold.
No, indeed. And with this expansion being set up here, this gives Astrea an awesome launch point to try and get onto eventually towards Nina's production facilities while still defending the most important bases. Although this blink over, that's scary.
No, you make an excellent point there. Nina should be able to gun down this Nexus very quickly. Nice forward link on the cannon. Cancel this out. Go for the Nexus. Always prioritize the Nexus over everything else. There's a stasis trap that's going to buy a little bit of time. Nina just wants to get all the kills. Not a Nexus. That Nexus wasn't done yet? It looked done for me. I must have had a bug or something.
Yeah, it wasn't done. And I think you probably would have been a little bit different, I guess, in your messaging if you realized that it wasn't done.
Yeah, no. For me, it was fine.
Yeah.
This is the second time today. Earlier today, there was a building as well that was clearly in production. So I apologize for that, guys. That Nexus was finished up for me.
The fusion core, right? That one I saw finished.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of weird. But anyway, 3 Stargates on the way for Nina behind this. But there's 3 carriers on the way at any given time. Astrea is so far ahead when it comes to this air war. But it's the Stalkers that are important for Nina to try and keep this back for as long as possible.
I do like the fact that Nina is the one who's economically ahead in this game now, though. 80 workers is just awesome. That's definitely where you want to be when you're working with gateway units. So you can just spam them like crazy. Nina's getting her own fleet beacon as well, and already started +1 air weapons a while ago. I love to see that part. I mean, it is hard though to really find the opening you're looking for. There's a mothership as well that could potentially recall the army into the main base of Nina. Wouldn't that be a play?
Oh, I'd be loving that. That would be fantastic. But we'll see if it does come to fruition. I mean, this army bouncing or having the ability to bounce around against a Stalker ball like this would be extremely impactful if Nina was even slightly out of position.
I kind of wonder what Astrea's plan to victory is here. Like, clearly, very powerful army.
Yeah.
What I'm wondering about is how do you truly force the fight, even though this map isn't as great as Pillars of Gold to run around. Eventually, I feel like the Stalkers will find some decent opportunities to keep the army at home. And I think with the army that Astrea is working with, you don't want to be stuck forever. But that mothership is indeed going into the main. This is the play I was talking about. I'd love to see it. I think this is just one hell of a play. And don't forget, you can recall the army to the mothership, but you can also recall the army back home again to your Nexus.
I'm getting Wings of Liberty vibes here. This is, here we go. Bringing down that Nexus, doing whatever you want with this infrastructure. Getting the +3 weapons would be nice and big as well here against that Forge, denying it from ever even occurring. And at the same time, the Stalkers are going for a full base trade at this point.
Yeah, but eventually Astrea can recall home again. So I think Astrea is just trying to take out 2 bases, maybe take out the cybernetics core as well. Maybe even 3 bases. I mean, all the Stargates are a little bit more towards the top. Obviously, the main is not super important for Astrea anymore. Nina has way more production there. I think Nina just recalled a lot of Stalkers home. But Nina can't fight this army yet, Polaris.
The DPS as well in this army from Astrea is extremely potent. Although there are a few carriers here as well to try and hold on for Nina. Army supply overall, though, much bigger for Astrea. Will take the straight up fight, focusing down those carriers as well with the Void Rays, shredding them, in fact. And now on top of the crucial production facilities.